I'm Brilliant Sangalang and I'm going to discuss the introduction and concept of supervision.
Let us first know what is supervision. Supervision means overseeing. The word super means above and vision means seeing. Thus, supervision is an action taken by a superior to monitor those who work with him or her. This includes directing, investigating, guiding, helping, and advising the subordinates in their performance in order to achieve the stated goals.
Did you know that supervision is one of the most important management functions? Because even in public and private organizations like in hospitals and centers, supervision is necessary. Furthermore, in nursing care unit, each level requires supervision. For example, nursing staff who are responsible to provide nursing care to all the patients are supervised by the sister in charge. All the sisters are supervised by the assistant nursing superintendent, who are an upward chain and who in turn are supervised by the nursing superintendent. Indeed, no level is left without supervision. It is also said that even with a limited number of workers, excellent care can be provided to patients with good supervision. It is also said that supervision is a teaching-learning process which provides constant observation, monitoring, evaluation, and guidance to workers to enable them to perform their activities effectively and efficiently, maintaining the required standards. Let us now know the other definitions of supervision. Terry and Franklin define supervision as guiding and directing efforts of employees and other resources to accomplish stated work outputs. Based on the definition, we can say that in order for the employees to complete their task effectively, they require someone to guide and oversee them. Williamson defines supervision as a process by which workers are helped by designated staff members to learn according to their needs, to make the best use of their knowledge and skills, and to improve their abilities so that they do their jobs more effectively and with increasing satisfaction to themselves and the agency. Based on the definition, supervision is more than just monitoring what others do. It is a process that allows employees to develop and excel at what they do. The major factors of supervisors' work and equipment are as follows. Technical, familiarity with the know and how of the work to be supervised. Institutional, familiarity with the policies and procedures governing the work to be supervised. Human, ability to deal tactfully with the worker under supervision. Thus, supervision is an act of superior person to see the work of the personnel working under him or her. This overseeing also means being equipped with all the knowledge and skills. Based on those definitions, we can conclude that organizational goals can only be met through supervision, and by overseeing employee, quality is maintained. It also encourages people to give their best in their work. There are 8 objectives of supervision. Number 1, help the staff to their jobs skillfully and effectively. Number 2, help the staff to develop the individual capacity. Number 3, assist the staff in meeting predetermined work objectives. Number 4, help to promote cost effectiveness. Number 5, help to motivate the subordinates. Number 6, help members to identify problem and teamwork. Number 7, help to develop team spirit. And lastly, help to improve attitude of the member towards work. To conclude, all of the objectives are required to fulfill organizational goals, and supervision is a critical component in attaining them. Supervision obviously entails not just overseeing, but also ensuring that certain tasks are completed in the desired manner. A supervisor's responsibility do not end with assisting employees with their work. They also influence the personal development of their employees.
Hello everyone, hope your attentions are still there. Yes, again, I'm Kilin and Pia together with Miss Timbas. Here now going to discuss to you the functions of supervision. So as we begin, again, supervision doesn't mean you have control of another, but to give guidance in their work, and it's part of professional good practice, right? So if we try to enumerate all the necessary roles or activities needed to be performed by a supervisor, this can be grouped under different types of supervisory functions. As what you can see in the screen, the functions of supervision are abbreviated with the letters A, T, H, E, L, P, or at help. As A stands for administrative function, so let's direct into our chosen profession and let me explain it to you. Like for example, an administrative nurse supervisor. They are responsible with staffing, facility management, and crisis management. They are also ones who offer guidance and training while delegating work. Their job is to ensure that day-to-day operation of their organization runs smoothly. Next, T4 teaching function. The nurse supervisor addresses the potential loss of knowledge due to the nurse retirements by establishing a collaborative, knowledge-sharing workplace culture. By creating the environments where experienced nurse leaders, mentor, and train new nurses, they ensure the transfer of knowledge to sustain high-quality patient care. Next, H stands for helping function, in charge with the helping to recruit, educate, and train new personnel. They are often responsible to represent the employee's requests and to the management, resolving conflict in the workplace and establish expectations, know the appropriate workplace behaviors, and make sure the employees understand the directions. As E stands for evaluation of function, they must also evaluate their team to ensure they are giving the best care possible to their patient. They identify and provide opportunities like for further professional development training as nurses continue their career, the nurse's performance, and a need to recommend them for retention or advancement as appropriate, and a feedback about their work efficiency. Lastly, LP stands for link providers or linking function. They act as a communication link between the facility or health unit and its patient, nursing staff, and other stakeholders. Besides, they also assign duties, coordinate, and monitor nurses in their daily operation. They are imperative to delivering quality care. For example, a ward sister or sister in charge is linking person between the nurse staff and assistant nursing superintendent. Next to it is about a supervisor who upward responsibility to her superiors or to. But anyway, what is upward responsibilities? Well, it ensures that tasks are being performed on time, provides accurate feedback, and helps keep everyone on the same page with a common vision. It is the process which the lower level company employees can directly communicate with the upper management to provide feedback, complaints, and such as number 1, identify the activities the hospital authorities or the district health authorities want to be done. It takes the instruction from the management and passes them to the employees on behalf of the management. Number 2, arrange to carry out these activities. They plan and divide their project into small tasks and distribute them among his team members and provide timeline to complete the work assigned. Number 3, keep your higher authorities posted on what is being done. They also report and update about the performance of the team members to the management. Next, number 4, suggest measures for improving efficiency of the workers, like for our case, nursing staff, and efficacy of the performance. Number 5, act as a liaison. They help organization or groups to work together and provide information to each other between your higher authorities in health management, and interpreting the requirements of the district health authorities and vice versa. Number 6, refer matters to your supervisors for their timely and appropriate intervention without bothering them unnecessarily at the same time. Respect each other's time. And again, I'm Killing Pia, and that's ends my part for the second half of the supervisory functions and responsibility. It will be discussed with my co-team member. Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Giselle Timbas. Okay, for the continuation of functions of supervision, under this also is the downward responsibility. In an organization, the manager has several responsibilities and work to do. So, in order to reduce his or her burden, certain responsibility and authority are delegated to the lower level, and this refers to downward responsibilities. Below are the following examples. With regard to the supervisees, as a nursing supervisor, you are to, first, assist in selecting, orienting, and training new staff nurses or new students. It is important because it lays a foundation for their obligation with the department, provides them with concise and accurate information to make them more comfortable in the field. It also encourages employee confidence and helps the new employee or the student adapt faster to the job, as well as it contributes to a more effective, productive work field. Second, teach them, demonstrate concern, decorum, manners, tact, and courtesy in their day-to-day dealings, especially in the medical field since it is mostly a people-oriented profession, and with any people-oriented career, professional etiquette is a necessary part of the job. Healthcare professionals interact with a variety of people from fellow nurses to patients families. That's why as the supervisor, it is necessary to be responsible how they interact with other staff on a professional level, as this can have a big impact on how their shift goes and the impression they leave on a facility. Third is to help them in effectively humanly communicating with their clientele and all others concerned. And another important responsibility of a supervisor to be delegated with his or her supervisees, as good communication is an essential tool in achieving productivity and maintaining strong working relationships at all levels of an organization. Good communication between nurses and patients is essential for the successful outcome of individualized nursing care of each patient. To achieve this, however, nurses must understand and help their patients, demonstrating courtesy, kindness, and sincerity. And the following are the additional downward responsibilities of a supervisor. Now let us talk about the responsibility of a nursing supervisor regarding coordination. We all know that coordination is essential at every level of management for achieving harmony of individual efforts. Therefore, in terms of coordination, as a nursing supervisor, you are to assure first to have an effective planning with your units. It helps in coordination for the reason that planning assists an organization chart a course for the achievement of its goals. It provides framework for the organization's objectives, encourage the economical use of resources, as well as it helps in shaping the future. Second is to provide just and fair distribution of workload. A nurse's workload has a significant effect on patient outcomes. Research shows that a heavy nursing workload adversely affects patient safety. Furthermore, it negatively affects nursing job satisfaction, and as a result, it contributes to high turnover and the nursing shortage. Third is to maintain coordination with other nursing and sister units. Team collaboration is essential. When healthcare professionals are not communicating effectively, patient safety is at risk for several reasons, such as the lack of critical information, misinterpretation of information, unclear orders over the telephone, and overlooked changes in status. The following are the additional responsibilities of a supervisor in terms of coordination. And that would be all for the functions of a supervisor. Thank you po.
Thank you, Jess and Pia. For the continuation, I am Luel Jean Chancerihino and I will be discussing the stages of supervision together with Miss Angelica Traqueña. We have a total of 3 stages of supervision: the preparation stage, the supervision stage, and the follow-up of supervision. We will tackle them one by one through this presentation. The first stage is the preparation for supervision. As a nursing supervisor, you have to make the necessary preparation for successful supervision. While getting prepared to supervise, you should focus on specific issues like the efficacy of the services provided to the patients. In order to achieve this, you have to study the given documents, identify priorities for supervision, and lastly, prepare a supervision schedule. To study the given documents means that you have to review the hospital policy, rules, guidelines, procedure manuals, job description of each category of personnel, standard norms, targets, and any other relevant documents in details. Next is the identification of priorities for supervision. It contains prioritizing areas, activities, and tasks related to nursing care services in a hospital or in a community which should be supervised. This will make your supervision most effective. This is the time when you have to identify the tasks, the activities, the areas, the units, and the staff who must receive priority attention from you as a supervisor. Last is the preparation of supervision schedule. It is essential that you prepare checklists for observation in the wards or in the institutional settings and for field visits in the community settings. You have to prepare a plan and schedule of visits on the basis of the priority needs and content supervision as set out in the checklist. For community nursing including MCR nursing as well as institutional nursing care, you have to work your plan for giving desired attention to the priority areas and units.
Good day everyone, I'm Angelica Traqueña and I'm going to report about the stage 2 supervision. So in second stage, the preparation is already done. Then it is now time to have a supervisory work. So the tools included are the following: First is the job description. Next is the task description, the weekly timetable, checklist, and a rating scale for each task. Likewise, using a checklist and a rating scale for each task, an organization will be able to specify specific criteria and allow the organization to gather information and make decisions about what employees need to know and what they can do in regard to the results. So as a nursing supervisor, they are expected to perform the following activities in this stage. First is to establish contacts and then review the objectives. Next is the supervision. So what does a nursing supervisor do in this stage? So as a nursing supervisor, they are expected to review the job descriptions, duty roster, and weekly timetable. They are also expected to examine how much time is spent on each of the duties mentioned in the job description. They also have to identify gaps and needs for follow-up action based on the feedback data attained through observation. And lastly, it is essential to discuss and consult with the medical specialist regarding the aims of the patient care and the efficacy of nursing care given by the nursing team. So that's all for the stage 2.
The last stage is the follow-up of supervision. Each supervisor must prepare a report on observations made during supervision. This report is used as a tool for taking up actions which may include organizing in-service training programs or continuing education programs for the nursing personnel, reorganization of timetable or work plan or duty roster, initiating changes in logistic support or supply system, initiating actions for organizing staff welfare activities, and counseling and guidance regarding career development and professional growth.
In today's world, influence, not power, is the key to effective leadership. Good day, I am Ivan Santiago, and with me Ms. Kyra Torrente are going to discuss about the qualities of good supervisor. Some personal qualities like attractive personality, good health, high intelligence, persuasiveness, and loyalty to the organization are assets to a supervisor, most of which are inherited rather than acquired. In addition to these personal traits, there are certain qualities which can be acquired by a person to become a good supervisor. According to Holsley, a good supervisor must possess the following qualities like thoroughness, fairness, initiative, enthusiasm, and emotional control. Thoroughness: a supervisor must have detailed knowledge of all the information relevant to the task and take care of every necessary detail. Fairness: a supervisor should exhibit a sense of justice, consideration, and truthfulness towards subordinates. While in initiative, it includes the qualities of courage, self-confidence, and decisiveness. In enthusiasm, it is an intense and eager interest in and devotion to the organizational goals. And lastly, for the emotional control, it means emotional maturity which controls and channels emotion in the right direction.
Thank you, Ms. Ivy. And to continue the discussion, I am Krazzy Torrente and I am going to discuss the remaining qualities of a good supervisor. First, we have personal qualifications. This may include integrity, honesty, ability to cooperate, ability to attract, motivate, and unite others to work. Second, we have teaching ability, or the ability to communicate with the workers. And last, we have the general outlook, or the supervisor should show liking of the job and be absorbed in it. Over and above all these qualities, the most important quality essential for a supervisor is the human relation aspect of supervision. A supervisor must keep this in her mind and try to win over the confidence of her subordinates by treating them in cordial, friendly, and persuasive manner. And now, let's proceed to the knowledge, skills, and attitude required for the supervision. From the stages and activities involved in the process of supervision, you have learned that this is a process of providing constant observation, guidance, and appraisal for the staff providing nursing care. To ensure this, a supervisor is expected to develop certain skills, acquire specific knowledge, and inculcate an attitude that will be helpful in developing leadership behavior. And for the last slide, we have the attitude, interpersonal and professional skills, and professional and technical knowledge. For the interpersonal and professional skills, as a supervisor, you will be effective when you can develop interpersonal skills by knowing and understanding the staff. Each human being has individual attitudes, values, and beliefs. Supervisors must understand that different staff has different styles or manner of carrying out the assigned work. Next, we have professional and technical knowledge. As a supervisor, you should not only understand the needs and styles of the staff and provide feedback, but should also develop or train the staff continuously by reinforcing the knowledge she possesses and providing additional professional and technical knowledge according to the latest developments and trends. It is equally essential that you are thoroughly aware of the job responsibilities together with the skills, knowledge, and attitudes required to perform these jobs well and effectively. And last, for the attitude, the supervisor has to ensure cooperation among all of the nursing staff working in a unit and among all working in the whole hospital. She also has to understand and apply those factors that motivate the staff to work, reduce the effects of factors that cause dissatisfaction, and decide to whom, when, and how to delegate certain authority.
Hello, good afternoon once again. I am Narinjad A. Sumine, and let us now discuss the different methods of supervision. The first method is what we call technical versus creative supervision. The methods used in technical supervision are some of the basic supervisory skills which are needed to be trained. The examples of this are group conferences and group discussions. When we say technical, it is more traditional and basic. While on the other hand, creative supervision provides maximum adaptation to the situation. It involves a variable plan in both contents and time according to the needs of each individual. In simple terms, creative supervision is customized and flexible to the needs of individuals or in nursing to our patients, just like individualized care plan to a patient. The second method is what we call cooperative versus authoritarian supervision. In cooperative supervision, there is full participation of each member of the group in planning, action, and decision making. In simple terms, the members of the group or the staffs are involved in this planning, action, and decision. On the other hand, authoritarian supervision is primarily responsible or centers entirely on the supervisor, with the staff just following his or her orders. The last method is what we call scientific versus intuitive supervision. When we say scientific supervision, it relies primarily on objective study and measurement. Or in simple terms, it has basis or ground proof and measurement. While on the other hand, intuitive supervision needs to maintain the interpersonal relationship. It relies on personal judgment or opinion. It is more like a gut feeling. That is why interpersonal relationship or interaction is very important. Next are the two types of supervision. The first type is what we call direct method. In direct method, it is based on observation on the spot, or it needs face-to-face interaction to assess and monitor, and the presence of the supervisor is required on the area. Direct observation may take place in the hospital in different nursing situations for assessing and monitoring the efficacy of nursing care services rendered to the patients in the institutional settings. Next is the indirect method. It is based on the perusal of records maintained by the staff. It also covers mainly the record reviews, such as patient records and reports. Record reviews enable a supervisor to compare performance against performance indicators. In indirect method, the records, monitoring sheets, patient charts are needed to evaluate and compare the performance and the quality of nursing services rendered. Thank you for listening. I hope those terms are clear and easily remembered. Let us move on to the next concepts.
Good day, everyone. I am Jenny S. Reclos, and I will be continuing the discussion about the concepts of supervising, the different styles of supervision. So, what exactly are supervision styles? Well, it is related to the functions of supervising, which were discussed earlier by a teammate, right? And with that, different styles describe how supervisors communicate, motivate, direct, and manage their subordinates. So there are a number of supervising styles that a supervisor can utilize. Let's find out some of those. Okay, so let's start by knowing the two main styles of supervision according to the function and the directed attention of the supervisors. So these styles of supervision answers the question, what is the main focus of the supervisor that could directly affect his or her approach or style of supervising subordinates? Okay, so the first one is the task-centered supervising. In here, the supervisor places more emphasis on the tasks than on the performance who was being supervised. So supervisors here probably believe that ends are more important than the means. And by that, it frequently overlook or neglect the human aspect of dealing with staff. The next one is the employee-centered supervision. So, point that is good to remember here is that the supervisors here are people-oriented, meaning they believe that it is critical to be concerned about the staffs themselves, their needs, and their well-being. As a result, employees are well taken care of, and thus they are able to work well and take on responsibilities. However, if the subordinates perceive these supervisors as forgiving, lenient, or too tolerant, it might lead them to inefficiency. And by that, the effectiveness of this style depends on the nature of the task and the nature of the employee and the situation. Moving on, there are 3 additional supervisory styles that may be observed being used by various supervisors. And the supervisor may take on the following roles depending on the styles that they used. Okay, so the first one is an autocratic or critical supervisor. So these supervisors cannot tolerate any deviation from norms or standards, and their decisions are always made by themselves. And the second one is a benevolent supervisor. These supervisors are very protective of their subordinates, and they always provide constant direction to them. They are often well liked by the staff, and they prefer to cultivate their subordinates as dependent or reliant followers. Okay? And lastly, we have the democratic supervisor. So they believe in the style of let us agree on what we have to do in dealing with the subordinates. So in here, they provide guidance only when his or her subordinates asks for it. and the subordinates here tend to gain confidence in their work. Okay? So thank you all for listening, and I hope you learned something from me.
Good morning everyone, my name is Krazzy and today I'm going to discuss about the techniques and tools of supervision. Supervision as defined is the act of observation, monitoring, evaluation, and guidance to the workers. A proper supervision has to be done with the proper tools at hand, just like how every medical and surgical procedure has to be performed with the proper techniques and tools. There are many types of techniques and tools that can be used as a supervisor. They are observation, through the field visit or spot checking. Supervisory rounds should be constructive in criticism and followed by group meetings or discussions, individuals and or group conferences. Checklists, one of the most common tools in supervision. Rating scale, written policies, printed manuals, bulletin boards, etc. Reports, written or verbal. Records including anecdotal records, follow-up visits and evaluation, staff meeting, and lastly, in-service education. I know that most of us are familiar with this tool as we have seen them from our professors and have used them as our guides for the return demonstrations that we have been performing for the past semesters. Checklists can be used for direct and indirect supervision. They are used to evaluate a task, skill, or activity. It helps in effective and systematic supervision. It avoids duplication. It includes the essential components of a task, skill, or activity and ensures the objectivity of being a supervisor. They were used as a tool for evaluating our learning and our skill and competency towards a particular nursing skill that we have to perform in the future as a competent and registered nurses. Although difficult and have been giving us particularly bad experiences and nervousness during these times, we cannot deny the effectiveness of these checklists as a tool for supervision and its effectiveness for raising our skills as a nursing student for particular nursing skills that we have to learn, especially those that are vital for our profession. That is all for the techniques and tools of supervision. Now we are going to talk about the principles of supervision.
Principles are the chief guides to make teaching and learning intelligent and productive. Good day, my name is Kyla Marie Angeles Saroca, and today we will discuss the principles of supervision. And before we proceed, let us talk about the meaning of the supervisor. So a supervisor are the person in charge of others' work and regardless of their positions, and they are being destructive criticism, and supervisor assists, coordinates, and collaborates and encourages. It came from the Latin word supervidere, meaning oversee and to inspire. So the supervision principles brought to you with the tenets of the university. So these are the supervision principles. First is the truth. Good supervision respects employees individually, and it helps the individual to create personal goal and energetic, realistic, and beneficial to her goals. And it encourages to improve the employees themselves. Next, for the excellence, supervisions unifies the nursing staff efforts and encourage the employees to think and act, for it increases individual staff member effectiveness. And it is not like supervised like students. Rather, it aids the nurses to the pattern or analyze the continuation of success on achieving their goals. And lastly, for the service, is good monitoring or supervision ensures the quality of services, and it meets individual needs and well-planned oversights, and a good supervision promotes learning on the ward. Always remember, dear, that in a good supervisor, the individual is free to function at her best socially, psychologically, physically to get the best out of the person. Irrespective of the method used, each supervisor should consider certain points. Remember that supervisors are the mark of the company's success because of the following. So first, M stands for the management. So supervisors are professional and technically competent, and they provide necessary counseling, guidance, and training to staff and good leadership. And they ensure good planning. And next to it is autonomy. It gives the autonomy to the staff depending upon the personalities, expertise, capabilities, knowledge, competence, and experiences and characteristics. R stands for respect. Supervisors should gain respect and do not overburden a staff. They do not exert undue pressure and encourage innovation, allowing the free flow of ideas and share positive experiences. And lastly, K for keen observer. The supervisor encourages staff in decision making, communicate with workers freely, and create a climate for productive work. Okay, always remember that a supervisor should gain the mark. And the principles are important for us to know in order to have a guide on controlling your people.
Good day, everyone. I am Jenny Siron and I will discuss the topic about the problem-solving technique. The problem-solving technique is specific to a situation and individuals involved in a particular problem and at a particular time. This approach aims to reach an agreement that meets the best long-term interest for those concerned, leading to a positive relationship. Another critical feature of this problem-solving approach must be the ongoing search for a common goal among those involved. And now, we will discuss the 6 steps of problem solving. First, you need to identify the problem. Name it, define it. Think about it, and make sure that you know exactly what you want and what to solve. Second, gather information about the problem. When does it occur? What is happening at the time of occurrence of the problem? And who always seems to be involved? Third, think about all the suggested solutions, from nothing to absurdity. Make a fun solution, brainstorm, and be creative. Fourth, systematically take each valuable solution you have thought of and think through what would happen if you implemented that particular one. It helps to write down the possible solution and problem outcomes. Fifth, consider the outcome. Choose the solution that seems best and try it. Sixth and last, evaluate the result. Did it work? What was successful and what is failed? If it worked, what are you going to tackle next? If it doesn't work, try another solution until one works, or go back to the first step in problem solving. That's all for problem solving technique. Thank you for listening.